we know from science is when you have too many choices, you can't make a decision. And that's what happens with dating apps. Because it's kind of anonymous, I feel that people can be a lot ruder on it than they are, like, if you're set on a blind date with your friend's friend, you're going to probably be more polite than it's just somebody who meets somebody on a dating app. In the old days, before the dating apps, people would meet through their friends. You know, they have a pool party, even in the workplace, things like that. I think that meeting in real life is probably one of the best ways to do it. However, as we age and we get older, we're less often in those situations. So then I'd say yes, the dating apps and the online dating would work better for you.
Singles in Arizona looking for love online are at higher risk than many others.
A new study from Stanford and University of New Mexico researchers shows about 40% of couples meet online. The study also finds that Arizona is the top 6th most dangerous state to date online when it comes to violent crimes, cybersecurity, and STD data.
August 2017, Dalen Pierce, a Scottsdale man, was sentenced to 16 years behind bars, found guilty of scamming at least 11 women out of money through several dating websites.
31-year-old Jacqueline Claire Addis, now behind bars. Court documents reveal she allegedly sent 65,000 text messages to a wealthy Paradise Valley business owner. The victim admits meeting the woman through an online dating website.
I have had one woman in particular, after seeing my online profile, went and found my Instagram, went and looked at my locations where I was, and sometimes I'll tag where I am at places, and she actually showed up to the coffee shop where I was. She looked at me, we looked at each other for probably an hour, and then she left, and then I got a message on Bumble saying, "Hey, was that you at the coffee shop?" I was like, "Yeah, that was me." So that was a little bit sketchy. I think online dating is a little bit difficult because everybody's looking for something, and then those expectations get set pretty high. I practice divorce law. I meet with clients every day. I go to court a couple days a week. All my clients have my cell phone number, so they're texting me and calling me in the morning, trying to get advice and that kind of stuff. A busy schedule isn't really conducive to meeting people out and going out all the time, and I would say that's why I do online dating.
I think if somebody wants to casually date, say they're out of a long-term relationship or they're so busy with their career that they really aren't looking for a long-term relationship, I think dating apps are great. You can meet a lot of different people. You can have some more short-term relationships. I think, again, so people are honest about that. But some of the problems with the dating apps, because of the quantity of people you can be matched with that come up as possible matches, people start putting in kind of ridiculous parameters or boundaries that, he has to be this tall, she needs to have dark hair or blue eyes, or some really kind of, things that get in their way of finding someone, and because they can just swipe and get somebody next.
I just want low maintenance and a fun person. That's about it. Nice butt would be good, but that's neither here nor there. I don't have any of those lists like some people do online where it's like, you must have a job, you must, have 3 dogs, you must not be a narcissist. Like, I don't have any of those things because I think that just gets a little cumbersome. You start swiping and you see this person that you think, oh, might be perfect for you, and they've got these attributes, and then you swipe and it's not a match. And it's like, oh, okay, that's okay. There's a billion more people that I can swipe with. And eventually, if those matches don't line up the way you want them to, I think it's, at least for me, I start to look at that a little bit internally, like what's wrong with me? And then my standards start to go down, and I'm looking and swiping, and it's like, oh, this person's got one good eye, I guess that's okay. And then you kind of go from there. So I think the online dating aspect of it can lead to questioning kind of self-worth and that kind of stuff.
There's some studies that have shown that with different generations that our communication skills, our empathy is actually declining because we are just texting or ghosting and not having some of the real conversations you need to have. I think that the technology, we can't read body language, we can't read eye contact, vocal tone. So most of the communication, most of the ways that we actually evaluate a communication is removed. It's simply words.
I don't want to I've had 5-hour first date dinners, and that is the most miserable experience that I could even imagine. Usually I will make 3 suggestions, coffee, drinks, or we can go for a walk around the lake. And those are my 3 things because I think they're pretty safe. So generally something about an hour. And also in public, you know, because I want whoever I'm going out with to feel safe and comfortable as well.
If somebody says they can't talk to you on the phone or they can only text because they're out of the country or something like that, that's a warning sign. Anybody who has just like 1 photo, now that does happen. Some people just do put 1 photo on, but it's a warning sign if someone just has a photo. They've also shown that the scammers for women tend to be military people. They're not really those people, but they steal the photos, put them up, so they're military and they tend to be widowed. So those are some of those things. If you get the widowed military wants to get you offline, you probably have a scammer. And then they can never meet, that's a warning sign. So there's a lot of times where they're falling deeply in love, so too much too soon is a warning sign. So if someone immediately is in love with you based on your profile, or he's never met anyone like you, or virtually met anybody like with you, that's a warning sign. Again, same thing with the guys, because the guys get scammed too, the girl's immediately into him. So to prevent that, as I said, it's like talk, FaceTime, Skype, anything like that, so that you can see if you're really talking to a real person. And then if they ask for money, that's a real warning sign. Never give money to anyone that you haven't met. You don't get into anybody's car that you don't know. So you want to meet at a mutually convenient spot. You don't want to necessarily share your last name, where you live, your place of employment, because you are meeting an absolute stranger no matter how much texting you've done back and forth. You don't want to leave your drink alone, like if you had to use the restroom. You don't want to leave your drink because, you know, there is some date rape drugs. And I think that what a lot of people are doing is they're researching their dates, and I can understand that. You get someone's phone number, you Google it, you get their name, you look at their Facebook, and you're trying to see if they are really a safe person. And you don't invite anybody into your home until you really know who they are and you know where they work. You've kind of done some checking out of who they are as a person.
It really is a nice way if you're busy and don't have a lot of opportunities, or kind of like me. I mean, I don't like to go out and drink every single weekend, and to me that's really one of the only places to go out and meet people. So it is a good community to try and engage into relationships, so long as those expectations are brought way down. What is success on online dating? Because people want to have sex, people want to get married, people want to do everything in between. I would say I've never known anyone that has been married from online dating. I do know people in good long relationships and healthy relationships who've met on Tinder and Bumble, which I would consider success.